Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
O's man, 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 I pull up in that old jet, hold fast.
Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy. No, I'm just playing. What's up, guys? This is episode 26. I don't know why I always brain fart on those episode numbers. This is episode 26 of the 40 Ounce Fridays podcast. I am your host, HiK-Upp Ruiz. Hope everyone is having a good Friday. Hope everyone was enjoying their week. We are less than a week away from Christmas, right? Christmas is Wednesday. Jesus. Christmas is indeed Wednesday. Holy shit. Okay. So we're almost at the end of the year. This is the second to last podcast episode we'll have this year. Next Friday should be, episode 27 should be the season finale. I'm probably going to have to get up early and try to record because, family will be on Christmas break. My brother's in high school. My mom works for the school district. So they will be here. So I don't want to have a lot of background noise next week, so I will try to just, record the episode early. I'm recording pretty early now, too. It's only 10:15, 10:20, some shit like that. So, get it out of the way, get that episode done. It'll be a really, the last few episodes are really just, shoot the shit episodes, just because, we're about to end out the year, and I feel like we're about to enter a new decade, first off, too, and also, what was I going to say? A new season of episodes for the podcast, so I feel like we'll be evolving, or at least trying to evolve and improve. So if anything, next week will be the last episode of the year. It should be. And then if I don't do an episode the first Friday of January, it's because my family's still on vacation. I just didn't have the time to. But if it doesn't happen then, expect it the second Friday of January. You know what I mean? And we'll be back with the season 2's worth of episodes. But anywho, intros aside, all that bullshit aside, what are we talking about today? I kind of just wanted to go over things I feel like since we're leaving the 2010s, 2010 to 2019. It's been a cool decade for the nerd community, especially the anime community. I feel like by the time we hit 2010, anime was already pretty much a lot more accepted in America, at least for people in my generation. I know there's plenty of people who are outliers who are just like, well, I'd never had a problem being an anime fan, this and that. Yeah, I get that, but that's you. That's a different, person. And this is me from my perspective looking at things with people I grew up with and people I talked to and knew. I feel like once we hit around 2010, I feel like anime kind of became more of an accepted thing. Everybody want to be a nerd, nobody want to be a nerd kind of shit. So I feel like we had a lot of progress. At this point, anime is just commonplace, if not in the world, at least in America. There's people know what, even if you're not an anime fan and know nothing about anime, you know what anime is. So it's just kind of one of those things at this point. And I'm seeing more and more people that are openly being into anime, older people too, older people older than me. A manager at my job, she's got into Naruto. She watched all of Naruto. What? How many episodes of Naruto? 700? She watched all of that. And I think she's watching something else now. I'm not sure. But she was telling me and a coworker about it as she was going through it, because we had seen it all already. So, it's crazy shit like that. And I think that's cool. And then, we got the gaming community. Games are still games. Technology is revving up. Next decade, we're going into the next console generation. We're going to have the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. But apparently the Xbox Series X is just called Xbox. I don't know. The fucking Xbox that looks like a computer tower, like a mini computer tower. People are hating on it. I don't really give a fuck how it looks. As long as it works and it has games, it'll be cool. So we'll see what happens. But, and then shows too, like anime gaming, shows. We got new shows coming out. I think the Witcher series is right around the corner. Is already out. I'm not too sure. The second half of BoJack Horseman's last season hasn't aired yet, has it? I don't know. I still haven't gotten to watch the first half. I'm probably going to do that today. Because I know they said they were going to release the season in halves, I believe, for BoJack Horseman. Fantastic show. I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast. But go ahead and give that show a shot if you're like me and a lot of my good friends and suffer from depression and anxiety on a daily basis. This show is probably the show for you. But I digress. I digress. That's a good show. That's solid shit. We got, hopefully new music. There's rumors. Well, Cole is supposed to release a new album this year, I believe. Like, what's it called? The Fall? Or that's what it's supposed to be called. But, he didn't end up releasing it, so it looks like he's gonna drop it in 2020, hopefully, and I hear things about Kendrick dropping an album in 2020, most likely, which I could see happening, just because Damn came out in 2017, so it's been about 3 years. I was talking to a friend about that, too. Kendrick doesn't drop projects super often, but when he does, he really drops, like, a fire fucking album. So, and it's right around schedule. Plus, he did the Black Panther soundtrack, which also came out in 2017, right? Or like 2018? When did Black Panther come out? Black Panther came out early 2018? Early 2018, I think. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. It could have been early 2017. It came out in February. Anywho. So yeah, we got that to look forward to. But all those good things and positive things aside, it took a long time to get to this point, but I wanted to go over and talk about shit that I feel should just stay in the 2010s era. Like, this shit should not enter 2020 and beyond in terms of nerd culture. And I mainly want to go over, like, anime culture kind of shit. But it'll probably bleed into, like, gaming and even music stuff, too, because, we all have those similar issues within those groups. And music isn't really a nerd culture thing, I would consider, but it's in my sphere of what I consume and what I view. And what I view is anime, cartoons, manga, games, and music. So that's what we're going to talk about. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about since we're almost done with the year. Things that just need to stay within its decade. That intro was too long, but I'm really hyped for the next decade. That's why I was talking about all that cool shit that's about to happen and go down. But yeah, next week we'll probably discuss more of that next week. But anywho, about that stuff from last week when I was talking about my favorite game from of the decade, my favorite anime of the decade, and my favorite my favorite album of the decade. We will be talking about that more next Friday. More than likely, I'll get a little more in depth as to why those were my favorite 3 of the last 10 years. But let's get started with this. Where to begin? Where to fucking begin? So the main thing, a lot of these things I know are going to transfer over. You can't get rid of most of these things. Like, you can't get rid of them. This is just my gripes with life. And I did a whole thing of, like, why I love the anime community, why I hate it, and all that shit. Like, a while back. I think it was a few months ago. I made a podcast episode on that. But, this is just more of the same, I feel like. So, first off, the whole fucking process of gatekeeping just needs to disappear. Stop gatekeeping. Stop it. Like, this goes in the games and music too, I think. Mainly anime and music for me, I want to say. A little bit in the games. But, like, stop gatekeeping, please. I don't even want to get into this one too deep. You guys already know the spiel. Enough people have talked about it, discussed it. Enough people do it. You might even be a gatekeeper yourself. Cut that shit out. Like, leave that shit behind. Stop it. We don't need that. No one needs that in their life. No one needs that fucking gatekeeper-ass dude popping up in conversations, telling you this and that. It's annoying. Just leave it alone. Let that shit be where it be. And don't let it lay there. Don't pick it up. Moving along. I was like, dude, if I get into gatekeeping, I'm going to be talking about it for like 25 minutes, so let's not do it. Other things like kind of relate to gatekeeping in a way. One thing that I really wanted to bring up, I saw a post. It was yesterday. It was yesterday morning. I had barely woken up. It was early as shit. It was like 8:30. I don't know why I was up at 8:30 on one of my days off, but I was just lounging in bed. I pick up my phone, check to see if any notifications, any messages, blah, 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 blah. So my girlfriend happened to be up. I was talking to her, and I saw a post on one of the... See, another thing too, side note, I'm probably about to leave the vast majority of these anime groups I'm in because I see so much more negative than positive from them nowadays. There might be like 2, maybe 3 that I see mostly positive things from, just mostly like nerd shit. But like the majority of them, dude, it just be the same old arguments. I'll get into that in a second, but I'm probably going to leave a lot of those groups just because I don't have the time to accept that negativity in my life. I need to get shit done, and I can't spend my time flipping through that and talking about it all the time. But I saw a post, and what was I saying? Okay, yeah, no, it was the episode of My Hero Academia. It was a clip from that where it was the episode I was super excited for. Spoilers if you haven't been watching season 4 of My Hero Academia. Spoilers from a fight, but still spoilers nonetheless because there's character stuff involved. So if you've been keeping up with the anime season, this arc, they infiltrated the fucking little mafia house. They're in the underground and they're doing their fights. Kirishima and Fat Gum had their episode last week. That was last week. The episode was called Red Riot because my boy Red Riot fucking did the damn thing. They had their tag team fight. Red Riot was the ultimate shield. Fat Gum was able to... Watch the episode if you haven't watched the episode. Look up the fight. It's so good. But I was so excited to see that animated because I remember reading it like a year or 2 back and it just being like, yo, that's what made Kirishima my favorite like student character, and that's what made Fat Gum my favorite pro hero. Without being too spoilerly, neither one of them has done like a lot since that point. But to be fair, they have been focusing either on Deku improving further as a character, which makes sense because he's the main character, and exploring more about the quirk One for All. So there's that. We got some more Bakugo related stuff as well, purely because Bakugo isn't involved in this arc at all. Neither is he involved in another specific arc, so it's just like that. Other things were getting shine. Other things were getting time to be set up, introduced. Some stuff with Endeavor's going to happen. I'm not going to get too much into detail with it, but there's certain things that are going on, so that are more like major character involved or major pro hero involved. So they took a back seat, but a lot of the class did as well. So it makes sense. It's not like, oh, Kirishima had his moment. Fuck Kirishima, because a lot of people I know that were in the comments reading, or like in the comments of that video were saying like, yeah, get used to it because he's useless now. I'm just like, I mean, he's not really. He hasn't really gotten time to do anything. There is a moment in a certain arc where something happens with him, and I was like, but I understand why they needed an example of something. And again, other characters were getting time to shine because they didn't get time to shine in a while, or they just really have never gotten any screen time. Like, Kirishima got like 2 episodes dedicated to him this season, so it's just like, makes a little more sense why he hasn't been utilizing him as much. He has to balance the class out. But, anywho, shit, I went on a side tangent. I really love Kirishima. But, anywho, somebody commented, simple comment of, what show is this? They were just asking what it was. And somebody was like, oh, My Hero Academia. And then, dude replied with, the dude that asked what show it was, replied with, he pretty much said, oh, I haven't really been watching that show because I don't watch shows that are popular. I don't like watching popular or some shit like that. And it got into a discussion with people. I stopped replying. I stopped getting into comment debates with people because either you talk to a brick wall, you get yourself frustrated and it wastes your own fucking time and energy, or it becomes a big fucking argument with the person. It's just like, I shouldn't reduce myself to that level. So I kind of just read comments and observe. Unless it's something like somebody is factually wrong. Like somebody says something about an anime character or a power-up feat or something, and it's actually like incorrect. I'll be like, no, that's not what that is, or that's not what was said. Like, because, and I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just saying, like, no, you got your facts right. I don't like the spread of false information, regardless of where it may be, even if it's just, like, an anime or something, because it's false information. But, when it comes to, like, opinions and stuff, I tend to not do it anymore, unless the person makes a post asking for other people's thoughts or wanting a discussion, because then they want the discussion. So usually a lot of people that do that aren't there to just fucking argue. They're there to actually discuss, which I prefer. I like going back and forth, even like if we don't agree on something, we at least could talk it out and have an adult conversation, because I don't care what the subject is. If I'm a grown-ass man and you're a grown-ass man, we shouldn't have to argue about shit. People are just like, oh, wow, grown-up conversation about anime. Yeah, because we're adults. So it shouldn't lead into an argument. But anywho, like, people are like, it's saying, that's weird. He's just like, I don't have to, would you show that, I don't want to mock him, but, I don't want to watch a show, I don't have to watch a show just because it's popular, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then somebody... And yeah, I agree. I fully agree with him. You don't have to watch a show just because it's popular. You don't. Period. Like, that. You shouldn't feel pressured into watching anything just because it's popular. I've said that before, like with One Piece. I like One Piece. I very much enjoy One Piece. Stop trying to force people to watch One Piece. If people don't want to watch One Piece, if people tried to watch One Piece and didn't like it, leave them alone. That's them. That's their decision. That's their choice. Especially if they watched it. Especially if they even gave it a chance and they didn't like it. Okay, let it go. At least they tried. Don't hit them with that, it get better after episode 6003. And then One Piece fans will try to mock that. Imagine not wanting to get into the greatness because it's too many episodes. Nigga, people are grown-ups. People have lives. No one has time to catch up on 900 episodes. And then, yeah, they do. You can't skip filler. They do have, little recap movies that recap, chunks of entire arcs and shit like that so you can catch up faster. But then people also want the full experience. And also, you trying to force someone to watch something probably makes them want to get into it less. That shit is annoying. Ain't nobody want to hear that every day. Yeah, you should watch One Piece, bro. You should watch bro. You watch One Piece, bro. That shit is annoying. That shit is annoying with any show. It could be any fucking show. Naruto. Yeah, you haven't watched Naruto? What you mean? JoJo? You haven't watched JoJo? It doesn't matter what show it is. That shit is irritating. If your homie or somebody asks, what do you recommend, and you recommend something, that's one thing. Or if your boy is watching anime, you guys are talking, and you're just like, yo, you should watch this. Don't constantly berate him with it, though. Unless, y'all real close. One of my, I forced my homeboy to be like, yo, no, dude, you need to watch JoJo's. But not because I was just like forcing him to watch it. It's because as I was telling him that, I was actively watching the show. So we would be kicking it. It'd be a couple of us at his house. You know, we'd be playing Smash, having some drinks, playing other games and stuff. So I'd have my phone out sometimes, and I'd be kicking it, just watching JoJo's. And I watched it subbed, so it's not like they could hear what was really going on. And I'd be like, yo! So he was seeing my actual reaction to watching episodes, and that interested him more into actually watching the show. So I wasn't just like, yo, you should watch it every single fucking day. But I was just like, yo, this shit is pretty cool. Maybe you should check it out. And he was like, when he finally had the time to, he fucking watched it. But yeah, I agree. Like, don't force someone to watch something just because you think it's the greatest thing of all time. Yu Yu Hakusho is my favorite anime of all time. I don't think I ever tell people, like, yo, watch it. I like recommend it to them. Like, if it's brought up in conversation, I'll be like, dude, yeah, it's my favorite anime of all time. Give it a shot. It's really dope. Or people will talk about how they started watching it. I'll be like, oh, how far into it are you? What do you think of the characters so far? I'll get it because I really like that show. Like, it's my favorite anime and manga series. But I'm not out here forcing niggas to watch it. Even when I share, like, memes or posts of Yu Yu Hakusho, it's not telling people to watch it. It's just sharing a post about some Yu Yu Hakusho. Or a meme from Yu Yu Hakusho. That's all it is. But, another side tangent. This all just relates to shit. Like, that's another, just stop telling people what to watch. I think that goes into gatekeeping, though. Like, stop being a stan, essentially, is another thing. Like, that's pretty much what that was. But this guy, it's one thing to not want to watch something or not want to feel pressured into watching something because it's popular or people are telling you to watch it. That's one thing. But this guy, like, pretty much was actively choosing not to watch popular shows. Is the thing. Like, if the show was big, if the show was mainstream, if the show was popular, pretty much he said he wouldn't watch it. Like, he wouldn't watch it. So he's choosing that. It's not like he's even being pressured into watching them or, like, berated to watch them. He's just like, oh, that show's popular? Ugh, I don't want to watch it. Like, that's pretty much what it is. And I thought that was weird, and I posted a status about it, but pretty much, it was a long post, but pretty much what I was saying about that was, that's, like, just as bad as being a gatekeeper, or just as bad as, like, forcing someone to watch something just because it's popular. It's just, like, because you're actively trying to avoid it. You're just like, this is popular, so I won't watch it. Like, that's weird. Like, why would you do that? Like, I don't understand that. Because to me it's just like, so you only watch shows that aren't popular. What happens if a show or an anime or a manga you read or something like that that's unpopular or not really, big or mainstream? What happens when something you're really into like that becomes mainstream and becomes popular? Because things that are popular just don't start and are suddenly popular. Like, My Hero Academia didn't get popular until they actually got animated, which is what happens with a lot of shows, like Demon Slayer and shit like that. Like, they'll become, like, big until an anime adaptation happens. And even when an anime adaptation happens, sometimes it doesn't happen to be big until, like, a couple of seasons later or some shit like that. So you never know. So it's just like, what do you do when something that wasn't mainstream that you enjoyed now is mainstream? Are you going to stop watching it because it's popular? Like, what if you love this show and, like, it's almost done and you're so deeply invested into the story, you're going to be like, oh, now everyone's talking about it and it's popular, you're just going to drop it? What kind of weird shit is that? Like, what kind of weird philosophy is that? I don't watch popular shows. Like, nigga, what? That's an agenda. Like, that's just as bad as people who say they only watch mainstream shows. And if you only watch mainstream anime, that's fine. That's one thing. Because if that's all you're into is shit that just, pops up and is on the main screen, it's not like you're actively I think it's the actively avoiding thing that's the problem. Like, if you've only watched mainstream anime because, like, you're not, like, super deep into anime, so you only know or hear about the mainstream because of that, that's not a big issue. I don't think so. Like, it's whatever. That's just what you do. But if you're like, I'll watch it when, like, you know, it gets a buzz. Like, people, like, I don't think there are people like that, but, like, if you're the type of person who did that, like, I'm only going to watch this show when it gets big or it blows up. Like, I don't know about that underrated low-key shit. Like if you're actively avoiding it, I find that to be weird because it's just like, why are you just choosing to miss out on possible opportunities to like something? I think that's really weird. And that's the same thing with this guy. It's just, why are you avoiding something just because it's popular? Who the fuck cares? What matters is if you like it or not. Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's bad. Like, is that the notion? Is that the idea that you have in your head? That because it's mainstream, it's probably overrated or overhyped? Again, I've said this so many times. Everything is overrated. Everything is underrated. Everything is overhyped. Everything is underhyped. It all depends on a fan, whether something is overrated or underrated. Like, people are like, Demon Slayer is overrated. I don't think it is. I don't think it is overrated or overhyped. I think that's just the wave of the season. It was a new anime that came out during that season, and people were like, oh wow, this animation's nice. Oh, I like this character. Oh, I like these fight scenes. Oh, I like this plot. It's new. It's going to get buzz. That's the whole point of animating. It's to catch buzz. It's to get popular. That's the fucking goal. So why are you getting mad at shit for meeting the goal that it's supposed to meet? You get more shit when it gets popular. What if Demon Slayer was, like, really low key? We would have only probably had that one season. The company was like I forget the studio that animated Demon Slayer. Was it Unforetold? Something like that. But fantastic job animating. They weren't expecting the buzz they got for Demon Slayer season 1. They weren't expecting that at all. So the fact that we're getting a movie for this next arc and probably like a second season after said movie, if the movie goes well, which it probably will. That one trailer we saw, the animation is fucking gorgeous. It's just like, imagine if Demon Slayer didn't get big and they were just like, okay, well that was cool. And then it would have been one of those anime that we always complain about, that we thought was really good, and we're waiting on that second season, and that second season never comes. And you fucking sane people bitch about that shit. You bitch about the fucking low-key shows that are great and fantastic, but only have 12 to 26 episodes. They're like one season, and they never get a second season. Because they never got popular. But then you don't want to watch popular shows because they're popular. It fucking makes no sense. It baffles me. You want a show to get popular because that shows the studio, hey, we can make more money off of this. People are watching this. People are consuming this content. People enjoy it. We should make more. And there are those fucking outliers, like a show that's really big and popular that only gets one season for some fucking reason and just never sees a season 2. There are shows like that, don't get me wrong. And there are shows that I know that mostly get hate. At least in America, they mostly get hate. Like Sword Art Online, like that series in general, gets a lot of hate in America. I don't know if it does in Japan. Probably doesn't, because they keep getting anime, they keep getting seasons. I don't hate SAO. I just think it could have been better. I don't know. I've been hearing mixed things about this latest season or part of the story. So maybe I'll give it a chance to check it out. But I fell off in like the middle of Gun Gale. I was not feeling it anymore. I definitely wasn't feeling, what was it, Elfheim Online? Like that second half of season 1. Oof. It was not vibing to that at all. But that's just me. So, you know, but it's just like it makes no sense. And that's what I was getting at. It's just like, so you don't watch popular shows and you actively avoid watching popular shows. So my only reasoning for that, for me, the only way I see that being a thing is because you must think mainstream shows are underrated, or overrated, or overhyped, and not that good, and this and that and that and this. But the fact of it is a lot of overrated shows. So what makes a show overrated? What makes a show overhyped or something like that? You know what I mean? Because if it is overrated or overhyped, that just means it has a very large fan base that's talking about it. So it's your word against the fan base's word? Like, the minority that are like, oh, it's overrated. Like, the people that are saying Demon Slayer is overrated, your words carry more weight than the people that say it's not and it's really good. Like, I don't get that. It's all just opinion. There really is no such thing as an overrated or overhyped thing. It's all about that fan demand at the end of the day. So it's just like, again, you get mad about these shows that you believe are great, fantastic, have these short seasons and never get a season 2. But then you don't want to watch popular shows. If more people watched your and I guess that's where they're getting it from. Well, if more people stopped watching this overrated show and started watching my show, then maybe we get another season. Maybe if your show generated more fans, it get another fucking season. Did you ever think about that? Maybe you're in the wrong. Maybe your show just wasn't that good. And don't get me wrong, this isn't me saying that every one of those shows that doesn't get a second season or picked up or something like that is bad and doesn't deserve another season. I'm just saying, did you ever think of it in that perspective, that maybe your shit ain't just that popular? It's weird. It's just like it's so edgy. That's what it is. It's such an edgy way of like choosing what to watch and what to do. Cuz just being a black sheep is still a sheep. That's what I said in the post too. Like, a black sheep is still a sheep. You're still being a sheep. You're just being this sheep for a different cause, essentially. It's like those generic punks who want to not conform to societal norms, but then they conform to these generic stereotypical punk norms. So it's just like, a black sheep is still you're doing the same shit. Like, it doesn't make a difference. And you're not doing it because like that's naturally you. You're doing it because you feel like you need to go against the grain for some reason. And I don't get it. It's just like, look at the pot calling the kettle black. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. I talked about that for a long time. I think that shit just pissed me off yesterday, dude. Like, it's just like, come on, man. Come on, man. Little JoJo meme. But, yeah, stop doing that, essentially. Just watch what you want to watch, regardless of how popular it is. Again, if you don't like a show, regardless of its popularity, that's fine, dude. You don't want to watch it. You're not into it. You're not vibing to it. You gave it a chance and you just wasn't feeling it. Shouldn't matter how popular it is. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But if you're actively choosing to avoid something because you have like this stereotype thought of like, this show is popular, so it must be overrated or not that good. Or this show isn't popular, so it must be awful. Like, how would you know that if you haven't watched it? How? How would you know that? But anywho, I still got plenty of time. We're only like 34 minutes in. Another thing I want to talk about, for the power scaling community. A lot of y'all need to shut the fuck up. Alright? Now, when I say that, I mean it from a point of, I like power scaling stuff. Like, I watch power scaling videos. The main videos I watch for stuff like that are like versus battles and what ifs and calcs and all that shit. Seth the Programmer and, Swag Kage. I watch a few other channels here and there too, but those are like the main two people. Now, keep in mind, I don't believe in their word as gospel, because even those two, they do a lot of collaboration videos, like they're buds. But even those two have disagreements about certain versus battles and what ifs and things of that nature. They had a little fucking disagreement that kind of blew up a little bit for a minute, but apparently that got solved real quick, so that's good. Water under the bridge for them. But main thing I want to talk about is not like the power scalers, people themselves, like is more of like the community of the power scaling. Oh my god, I hate you. I hate so many of you so fucking because here's the thing. I'm a power scaling fan, and like I like those versus battles and what. Not screw attacks though. I fucking Death Battle is trash. It's a popularity contest. They said it was a popularity contest, but the problem with that is they didn't say it was a popularity contest. They say a lot of like that popular thing goes into account, and they're there to more entertain rather than be factually correct more than less at times, which is fine. I get it. You're just making entertainment. That would be all fine and good if Death Battle didn't do any calculations. The problem with Death Battle is the fact that they say they're more so doing it for entertainment purposes. So why do you need these calculations? We don't need to see those calculations at all, because all that does is stir up a debate and an argument and a disagreement with a lot of your videos. And if you're trying to add science and facts to a death battle, then you have to be correct 100%. You can't just be like, oh, but this character's more popular, so it wins. Then take the fucking calculations out. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Good example of that, see, side tangent, with fuck, screw attack needs to go away forever. That's the thing that should be in the next decade. So, real quick, this shit was dumb. Years back, I think a lot of people within the nerd community remember when they announced the death battle of Goku versus Superman. Now, my problem with the first Goku versus Superman, I have some issues with the second one too. My problem with the first Goku versus Superman video is not the fact that Superman won, because looking at Superman, it just makes sense that he would win. He's a man without limits, whereas Goku is a man that's always breaking his limits. So it's just like, well, Superman is limitless in general, technically, if you really look at it from an outside view like that. So it makes sense that he could beat Goku. And Goku would just, continue to get stronger, but he's always the character who more has to reach a limit and then break it, whereas Superman just doesn't have a limit. I think they try to use that as reasoning in the second death battle too, but like they still use calculations. But my problem with the first death battle is their calculations were super fucking off. Me and two of my friends looked over their shit, and a lot of their shit didn't make sense. Like when they were calculating Goku's speed, they used an example from when Goku was running down Snake Way. And regardless of, I don't remember if it was before King Kai's training or after King Kai's training, but regardless of what it was, why were you using that as a basis for his speed? If we're using Goku, at that point Goku could go up to Super Saiyan 4. I think that was before Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue and shit. Why are we using that as a base? Like Saiyan Saga Goku, whether it be pre-King Kai or post-King Kai training, why are you using Saiyan Saga Goku as a base for his speed? And then they did some calculations with that about Snake Way, and they were like, okay, and then times it by 50 for Super. And I was like, no, we were all just like, that's not how that would work, first off. Goku at the end of Z and in GT and shit is fucking undeniably just ridiculously faster than he was in the Sand Saga. That goes for durability, speed, ki, technique. So why were you using that as a base for... So we, went over their calculations again and redid them, and according to the numbers they used, while Superman would be physically stronger, Goku would be much fucking faster if you use the right speed calculator. I don't remember the exact stuff because that was years ago, so sorry if I don't give you exact counts. I'm not a power scaler again. But this is three of us looking over it together with their calculations and their numbers and shit that they use. But Goku would be much, like, faster to the point where, like, it wouldn't matter that Superman was stronger. He probably would never be able to hit Goku because he's just too fucking fast. And their durability was about the same. So it's just like, this fight was a lot closer than you guys tried to make it out. Now, the second fight, when they were like, look, dude, at the end of the day, Superman is limitless and Goku is a dude that's always breaking his limits. Fine. Acceptable. Cool. First of all, we didn't need a second death battle. If that was going to be your endgame thing to say at the end. There was no, you could have just said, like, look, the reason why we're not doing a round 2 is because of this. Whatever. They fucking misrepresent Goku's character to an extreme degree during the second death battle. It was like, I think Goku was powering up during the fight, and he was like, I'll occur if I destroy the planet, or some like, they made Goku seem like he doesn't care about Earth, and I know a lot of people, including, like, non-DBZ fans, DBZ fans, say that. Goku would not fucking do that. First of all, Goku has never fucking done that. Ever. Ever. He gave his life twice for the good of the planet and his loved ones. What the fuck? That just sounds so backwards that he would be willing to sacrifice like that. Sacrifice the Earth like that. He fucking gave his life to save his son. He then fucking gave his life when Earth was about to explode because of Cell. And then that's a lot of debates too. When he did his fucking warp Kamehameha, at first everyone's like, Goku, if you missed that shit and hit Earth, you could destroy Earth. But then he instant transmissions and blows off Cell's upper body, so it was like he never planned to hit Earth to begin with. He teleported Cell off Earth so that they all didn't die. Then chose to stay dead because he was like, usually a lot of the issues that happen are because of me. So maybe I shouldn't come back. And you're telling me he would be willing to sacrifice Earth for the sake of a fight? The same nigga that was like, told the androids, let's go somewhere with less people because he didn't want people to continue dying? When Jiren 19 are you fucking stupid? Like, Goku is not that kind of person. And then there's the whole argument of like, well, da-da-da-da-da with the Cell games. And I feel like the only thing kind of suspect about it is like when he gave Cell a sensu bean. But at the same time, I could argue, well, if Gohan needs to be pushed to his limit to give his absolute best and show that true power, Cell's going to have to be the one to push him to do it. So I guess it kind of makes sense that Cell got a sensu. That's the only thing suspect about it. There's also the argument of like Goku actually being strong enough to kill Cell, but he wanted to give other people shine. And Geekdom 101 just did a video about Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and this whole discussion, and he proved it false because, first of all, Goku clearly says he can't beat him. Goku clearly says he was giving it his all. Goku's not lying, guys. For some reason, you guys are taking Goku's word-of-mouth statements as lies, and why would he blatantly lie like that? I don't understand. Weird flex, but okay. And I feel like even if he could have and was lying at that point, we would have already been like, it would have already been revealed later that Goku's like, well, I probably could have beaten Cell if I... But he couldn't. He gave it his all. Instant transmission Kamehameha was like his ace in the whole attack. And Cell healed from it. Because he didn't really know Cell could regenerate. So it caught him off guard. Like, Goku gave it his fucking all. He said he did. And even, like, Gohan was like, are you sure you were going all out? Because, I don't know, man. Because Gohan was stronger than that. So he thought it was weird that he was stronger than his dad, and he thought his dad wasn't giving it his best. Also, Cell wasn't even giving it his best in that fight. Cell powers up 2 more times during his fight with Gohan. When Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2. And I'm not even talking about when Cell gets, like, the max buff form. Like, he powers up 2 more times when he fights Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. This isn't even counting Super Perfect Cell either. So it's just like, first of all, Goku was... See, I'm going off on random tangents. What I'm saying is Goku wouldn't put other people's lives at risk for a fight. He's never done that. Tournament of Power argument, bullshit argument. The Zenos were planning to wipe out all those universes to begin with. So Goku bringing up the tournament again gave them the idea for the Tournament of Power. So at least one universe would have a fighting chance. And it was a test to test the morality of these lower human life planets to see if they would use the wish to wish the other universes back. Because had they not, they would have wiped them out anyway. So if anything, Goku saved those niggas through that fucking tournament. Shut the fuck up. Anywho, screw attacks calculations are awful. They like to use science, but and their fucking mismatches. Cloud versus Link pisses me off to this day. Not because Link won, but because it was bullshit how they nerfed Cloud. They were like, Cloud can use any fucking materia in Final Fantasy VII, but they're like, canonically we'll give him like bolt and fire. Nigga, what? They gave him bolt and fire materia, and they was like, that's it. And then they gave Link different like gear and experience and skills and shit from various different Links. So it was just like, how is that fair that this one Link has fucking different generations and different iterations of himself and one character, but Cloud gets 2 materia? Also, for trying to scientifically prove shit, Link blocking Omni Slash in the air, all of Omni Slash in the air, makes zero fucking sense, because you have no footing in the air. So how the fuck do you block multiple times in the air? You could probably block once, and then you immediately be knocked to the ground. You can't regain footing while in the air. Link can't fly. Link can't float. He didn't have his little fucking glider yet, because Breath of the Wild didn't exist. So it's just like, what? The Master Sword slays evil, and Cloud has Genova cells, and they're evil. But Omni Slash should have killed... I went off on such a huge... Dude, fuck Death Battles. Sometimes they're right. Flash versus Quicksilver, they were right. Flash, hands down, should have won. Good job. Because me and my buddy were, like, waiting for... We watched it because we were like, I want to see the bullshit reason why Quicksilver wins. Because Quicksilver would not beat Flash in a fight. I'm sorry, he won't. He won't, guys. If anyone wants to argue with me about it, you're welcome to. He won't. He can't do it. He can't fucking do it. Toph versus Gaara was stupid because they were like, we're going to put everyone in their, both these characters in their prime. Gaara doesn't get the One Tails though, even though he temporarily gained it back during the war. And even if he didn't gain it back, or at least like have it freed up from the fucking, what is it, the Geto Mazu during that war part, if they're both in their prime, shouldn't they just have all their abilities regardless? So would it fucking matter if Gaara lost the One Tails or not? If they're all in their prime, shouldn't they have all their fucking skills and assets? So Gaara, regardless, should have fucking had the One Tails. Also, people were trying to argue with me that, like, well, the One Tails wouldn't matter because Toph could control it. It's made of sand. No, the fuck it isn't. None of the tail beasts are made of chakra. They're made of fucking energy. He has the consistency and, like, form mold of earth and sand, but it's not, it's chakra. Toph can't bend that. Also, Shukaku is a living thing. Is it named Shukaku, or is that Shikamaru's dad? I think their names are, like, really close. The One Tails fucking is made of chakra, as all the tail beasts are. They're made of fucking chakra. Toph wouldn't be able to bend it. The One Tails is a living thing. Toph wouldn't be able to bend it. Shut the fuck up. They also make Gaara look stupid, even though Gaara was shown throughout Naruto to be incredibly intelligent and defensive in battle, which is why he was one of the big commanders of the war, because of his intelligence and use of strategy and defensive techniques. So I just thought it was stupid. But back to the power scaling thing. Oh my god. I was on that tangent for so long, dude. There's a lot of things that just need to stay behind, and I just... If I have more time, I could just keep going and going and going. This is just kind of me. I guess I'm just gonna label this podcast episode more of a vent episode, like a venting episode, just getting all this shit out so we can just let it go. I don't want to really talk about this shit much anymore in 2020. So let's just get it all out, lay it down. But okay, so power scaling. I don't have a lot of problems with the power scalers, besides Screw Attack, as you just heard me explain for like 15 to 20 minutes. But my issue is more with the fans, because, like myself, a lot of power scaling fans are not fucking power scalers. But they want to be. And that's all fine and good. If you want to be a power scaler, go for it. But you have to be willing to put in the effort and the research. Like, they have to actually, like, and it's not just reading the manga, reading feeds, reading statements and shit like that, guidebooks, other things of that nature. Like, these guys do actual calcs, like calculations for certain attacks, and like, this attack blew up an island, so it would have to be at least this strong. So bare minimum, which is this and this and this and that. They show their calculations. So you have to be willing to do that. A lot of these, like, wanna-be power scalers that, like, are fans boys that just want to be power scalers but aren't willing to put in the work, don't do that, like, ever. They just explain, like, the same things over and over and over again, but then give no reasoning behind it, and it's just like, okay, but explain it, show the numbers, this and that, blah, 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 blah. And I just find it really weird that they do that, because it's just like, dude, you want to be this power scaler, you love these power scalers, but you're not doing the work, you're not doing the calculations. So, stop being fake power scalers, please, because then those same people are, I feel like, why a lot of the power scaling community gets a bad rep, because those fucking idiots go in comments and argue with people, and they don't know what they're talking about, and then people are just like, God, the power scaling community is just fucking stupid idiots. Also, stop hating on the power scaling community. Like, some of you guys, I'm sick of seeing the posts of like, there's no such thing as planet busters, or guys, yes, they're fucking, oh my God. Yes, there are. If you have enough energy to blow up a planet, guess what you are? A planet buster. Like, Frieza blew up planets. He was at least a planet buster. At least. Like, Frieza, one finger, blew up planets in his first form, which is his most suppressed form. Planet busters don't exist. There's no such thing as planet level. Yes, there are. They're not, like, canonical terms. But in the power scaling community, they use that to label a character's strength just as a general term. Like, this is at least a planet level attack. Like, meaning it's strong enough to blow up a planet. This is strong enough, like, has enough energy output to destroy a solar system. Which is something Cell says when he's going to do his Kamehameha when he's Super Perfect Cell. He's like, when Gohan and him are about to do that last beam struggle, he's like, I have enough energy to destroy the whole solar system with this. Which is why a lot of games label Super Perfect Cell Kamehameha as Solar Kamehameha, because it was supposed to be a solar system level buster kind of attack. Okay. Brawly in the movies, who people like, the original DBZ Brawly, would flex out galaxies. But he's not a galaxy buster. He might not quite be a galaxy buster. It might take him some time, but he's definitely somewhere well above a solar system buster, which would be above star level. Well, how come these fights aren't always destroying the planet anyway? Because it's the fucking context of the show. A lot of them are trained martial artists, or at least trained to better control their energy, so they can pinpoint and focus an attack on a target. Like Goku, when he did his Warp Kamehameha. aimed it while he was in the air and Cell was on the ground. They're like, Goku, what the fuck? If you hit the Earth, you'll probably destroy it. Then he instant transmissioned and... My brother is yelling at 2K upstairs. I don't know if you can hear him or not. But when he instant transmissioned, he fired the blast upward at Cell. So then the blast went upward into the air. Also, you're telling me when Vegeta did his fucking final flash attack on Cell when he first became perfect, and we saw the blast leave the fucking atmosphere of the planet into space, you don't think that could have blew up the planet? You don't think that was enough? It went into fucking space. It was gone. It was huge. So yes, there are such things. Some people use those terms wrong, but there are such things. And that's just how you scale them. So it's just annoying to me that people say that. It's just like, there's no such thing as this, or this. Stop being a stupid power scale. Shut the fuck up, you negative bitch. Like, my brother's playing 2K20. He hates 2K20, but he bought 2K20. Like, but you bought 2K20. I can't really hate on him. I bought Jump Force. But, yeah, fuck all that noise, bro. What was another thing I was gonna say? I don't know, man. With the... that power scaling thing really got... I had something else I wanted to talk about. And now I can't remember it because I went off on so many tangents today. I just kept going all over the place. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a shoot the shit episode. But I had, like, a list of topics in my head that I was going to go through. That we was going to run through. Excuse me. This relates to me. Something that the reason why I want to leave all these groups, like I'm done with the debating and not even the debates, like the arguments of the groups, like I'm done with that shit. So another thing that I feel like we as a big nerd community need to do is just fuck these niggas in the comments, bro. You don't need to get in a discussion with them. You don't. You really don't. It's like talking to a brick wall. Like not everyone I've talked to in the comments has been that way. Sometimes, we'll just agree to disagree, but it's like, whatever at the end of the day. It's like, whatever, agree to disagree. And he's like, yeah, fair enough. And that's it. And we're cool. Because I'm not about to be pissed off at a stranger, even though I do get sometimes. And that's my fault that I get pissed off at these people. But, I'll even have people that are just like, oh, I didn't see it that way. Sometimes I'll be wrong about something, and I'll be like, well, where do you have proof of that? And then they show me the proof, and it's just like, shit, you were right. All right, man. I know when I'm wrong. You got me. That's it. That's it. That's all you need to do. Sometimes people can't accept that, and they stay hard-headed, or they don't listen to what you say, and they stay hard-headed. My favorite people are the ones that write out a paragraph to you about why you're wrong, so then you end up having to write a paragraph back, because you're like, oh, he wants to debate, and this is the shit I'm just avoiding now, because you write one back, countering all their points in that discussion. They're like, man, I ain't about to read that long ass paragraph. You just wrong. So you gonna send me your long ass statement, but then you're not going, all right, nigga, you not here to debate. You just want to be right. You just want to flex. It's just like, first of all, you're wrong. A lot of the times the niggas that do that are the ones that are wrong. Like the ones that are like, I don't read no. But they like take the time to like throw out all their points. Usually they're wrong and they hard headed and they don't want to hear what you have to say because they're so stuck in their own world of being correct and they are afraid to. Damn, dude, he must be getting stopped. And they're so like convinced they're right and they don't want to be proved wrong. They just don't want to take the time to read your reply. Let that shit go, bro. If if you want to stay in those groups and have fun and have those talks, share memes, share your favorites, that's cool. That's why I'm just going to stay in some of them. There's like there's at least 2, maybe 3 that I'm going to continue to stay in. But like a lot of them I'm just going to leave because I can't deal anymore. It's like, it's annoying to see like people with like the whole like thing I brought up earlier with like the dude being a black sheep, but you know, still being a sheep essentially at the end of the day. And they don't want to hear you, so it's just like there's no point in talking to them. And then like it's just like, okay, well you can just ignore those posts. But then at the same time, all I see from those groups are the same posts. Like I'll see like a post hating on Dragon Ball Z. If you don't like Dragon Ball Z, you don't like Dragon Ball Z. But it's just like I'll see a lot of posts. This is what I find ironic about a lot of these groups. There are a lot of Goku stands or DBZ stands in anime groups. That's just a given. But there's stands for every group, for every anime. There are Naruto stands, One Piece stands. So it's just like, yeah, there are DBZ stands, but there's just as many stands in other anime groups. I would argue there are more One Piece stands than DBZ stands, but y'all not ready for that talk. And I like One Piece. Like, this isn't even about One Piece itself as a show. This is about the toxic population of their fan base. And it's the thing I find ironic is I see a lot of posts in these groups talking about how they're sick of all these fucking DBZ stans or Goku lovers and all these niggas that don't know how to talk and they just think Goku or Dragon Ball. Like, I find it ironic that they say they're tired of seeing all those posts when I see more of the DBZ hate posts than I do for DBZ appreciation kind of posts or those stan kind of posts. I see more hate towards the show than I do love. So I'm just like, it's funny how you say that because I don't see that shit at all because you guys keep talking about how much you hate it. But at the same time, it's the same discussions over and over again, I agree. And I'm just like, well, what's the point of being here if y'all just not going to talk about nothing new at all? So I'm just choosing to bow out and leave because I'm trying to improve on myself and my life and things I want to do for 2020. And it's not just like, oh, a new year, new me thing. It's just like, this has been in the works for a while. And since like 2017, I've been trying to take our project a little more seriously, you know, balance it with work and other shit I'm doing in my life. And this shit came in around that time, and it's like, it interrupts a lot. Because you think about it too much. And it's another one of those things with social media, too. You just kind of need to walk away from it real quick. But I never really had that deep of a problem with it until I started getting into a lot of anime groups. So now I'm just kind of like, you know what? Just cut it off. Like, you don't need that stress in your life. I don't need the negativity. I don't need the stress. I don't need to see the same things over and over again. I don't need to see the same back and forth arguments. They're not even discussions, arguments. And it sucks because there are a lot of people in those groups that I do have a fun time, like, talking to, having discussions with, sharing jokes with. I'll have a good time in those groups. Don't get me wrong. But, there's just some that... And it's not even like, oh, the toxic minority drove me out. It's a very toxic majority in those groups. And that's the sucky part about it. So I'm just going to leave. No hate to, you know, the people who keep it real in that group. The people who are cool in that group. No hate, no disrespect to you guys. It's all love. Especially for you know, my black people. Because I'm in a lot of black anime groups. I'm in several. But it's too big of a distraction. And that's also a me thing too. I'm letting myself be distracted by it, which is why this is why I'm making the solution for it. So I'm just gonna let that go. So if you have an issue with that stuff too, it doesn't even have to be like, oh, you're a black nerd and this is happening. Like, just nerd community in general, whether it be anime, gaming, shit like that, even music to a smaller degree. I want to talk about more music next year too, but you know what I mean. Just let that shit go. Just let that shit go, honestly. It's not worth it. It's not. I get it, like, there's stuff you enjoy about the group or something like that, so you don't want to leave, or you kind of feel guilty, or you feel like you're running away from the problem. You're not running away from anything. you shouldn't feel guilty. You don't know these people in real life, or at least you might not know most of them. I know a couple of people in those groups in real life, but for the most part, I don't know these people. So it's all love to, the people who keep it cool, keep it real, but you need to focus on you. You are your own. You're your own top priority. You can't help anyone else if you can't help yourself. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't have to feel selfish for that, because at the end of the day, you're living your life. No one's gonna live it for you. So sometimes you kind of need to be a little selfish. I'm not saying be a fucking asshole, but think about you. Like, if you're doing something for other people, like, is it hurting you in any kind of way? And if it is hurting you, then you should be doing it, because you're your number one priority. Everything comes second to yourself. And it sounds weird. That sounds really, like, selfish. But that's one thing I've learned, especially this year. It's just, like, you shouldn't have to feel bad for being a little selfish for yourself. Because what's the point of catering to other niggas if you unhappy? Now, if you're going out of your way to be a selfish asshole, that's different. It's just like, how are you, like, you're gaining this kind of selfish benefit by hurting other people. But like I said, if it's something that you're doing that is hurting you, but is, like, kind of benefiting others, stop doing that shit. Stop doing that shit. And that's what I feel about these groups. I'm just gonna dip out, let that shit go, focus on me. I got writing to do. I have ideas, we're still working on another Round and Tail. We actually are working on some basic design, some storyboarding. I just did a new outline for the first chapter that will probably be the one that we work on towards the comic. It's pretty much the same as it's always been, just, more perfected draft for, like, a comic book format. Shit like that, working on designs, working on, figuring out the arc, like the length of it, what's going to happen in it, this and that. I've been working on that. I want to work on music again. Hopefully at some point in 2020 I can. I'm still always, like, thinking, got a little notebook, because it's easier to get your thoughts out and write them down than type them. Like, especially when not with, like, storytelling. Like, good art, I'll type it just because I need to send it out and get that information out. But sometimes I'll handwrite it first. Or, I've been writing, like, poetry and stuff again. So it's nice to focus on me, and I feel like I lost a lot of that because I was so wrapped up in this other shit. And that's my fault, because it's so unnecessary and it's so petty. So one thing as a nerd, especially if you're, like, into stuff like music, writing, drawing, creating, whatever it be, if this stuff is really distracting you or getting in your way, just cut that shit off, bro. Worry about yourself. Get your shit done. Get your money. I have a job. Like, I gotta work too. So I get home and then work on my story stuff, and then, like, late night I'll play some games. So I don't have room for this other unnecessary shit. So I'm moving on. Yeah, that one got a little deeper, but it's something you gotta worry about. And I've talked about that shit before. Like, I've talked about all this shit before. This is just kind of like the season roundup of all that bullshit. Anything else I want to bring up? Music-wise, stop saying music is dead. See, there's one thing. Like, I think that's the only thing I really wanted to talk about music-wise. Is, stop saying, like, well, not music is dead. Stop saying hip-hop is dead, because I'm more of a big hip-hop fan. I like other genres, too, but hip-hop is definitely the main one, the main source, the main genre. Hip-hop is not dead. Hip-hop is actually thriving pretty good right now. Just because you don't like certain mainstream artists does not mean hip-hop is dead, or hip-hop isn't as good as it used to be. Like, stop doing that. First of all, back in the day, if you were usually a lot of mainstream things were the only way you could find hip-hop artists, or, like, if somebody was bumping a mixtape in their car and you was like, yo, who is this? Like, of course. But nowadays, we live in an age where it's so fucking easy to just pull out a phone, a little computer in your pocket, and search up what you want to search up. If you really looking for like good conscious rap or some like crazy nasty underground rap or some shit like that, you can Google that stuff. You can find that shit so easily. You are going to find what you're looking for. No fucking problem. So you complaining that hip-hop is dead is ridiculous because it's not. It's so much easier to find and pinpoint what you're looking for. I don't listen to the radio. Period. I don't watch TV anymore as much as most people do. A lot of people don't watch TV anymore. So I find my music through word of mouth, or just I'll be on YouTube listening to something I like, and then something gets recommended. It's like, oh, I've never seen this artist before, but it's related. If I like them, I like them. If I don't, I don't. If I do like them, I keep listening to them. Maybe I find something else, and it chain reacts from there. Like, I have no problem finding good music, ever. Or music I enjoy. Because you can't rely on the radio anymore, because you're going to just hear the same mainstream artists, which isn't a bad thing. If you're into that mainstream music, you're into that mainstream music. But you don't get to complain anymore that you don't like the mainstream music and hip-hop is dead. No, it's not. Go on the internet, sir. Like, get over that shit. Even if you an old head who refuses to listen to any music, go on the internet and look up your old head hits, bro. They there? Shit. Like, stop saying that shit. Stop being a music gatekeeper. Just and a lot of the new artists, stop. We need some ignorant shit up now and then. A lot of old heads act like there wasn't ignorant music back in their day. There was. I know y'all niggas was dancing to that stupid shit. It's okay to have some ignorant shit in your life every now and then. A lot of these kids, like, I don't support, like, the drug use or the lifestyle, of course. I ain't trying to get after school special. But, like, a lot of them just want to make music for fun and just have a good time. And make them... And it's just like, if that's what they into, that's what they into. If that's the wave, that's the wave. If it's not the wave and it continues, then it just continues as its own genre. Eventually, another genre is going to take over and be the more mainstream, popular subgenre of hip-hop. Or an older subgenre of hip-hop is going to come back and take over. Regardless of if mumble rap remains and just becomes this forever subgenre or dies out. That's just how it is. It's cycles. So, just get over it. And there's good artists, bro. Like, YB and Cordae is fantastic. Like I told you, Lost Boy is my album of the year. It's my favorite album this year. Fucking Rich Brian just dropped a dope-ass album. Don't let that name fool you. That nigga is fire. Even, I don't give a fuck if you didn't like Chan's new album. I'm always going to talk about The Big Day. Toby Lou dropped an album. Dope. He just dropped a new song yesterday. Check it out on his YouTube. Fucking Kendrick, Cole, they coming out. Revenge of the Dreamers 3 was dope. Schoolboy dropped a new album. Oh, last week, the album I couldn't think of. I was like, there's another album I really fucking liked, and I couldn't put my finger on it, and I knew I was going to be mad when I remembered what it was. I remembered what it was, and I was so fucking pissed that I couldn't remember it during the podcast, because I really liked the album. I fucking loved Igor from Tyler, the Creator. That album was fucking great. I don't give a fuck if you didn't like it. I don't give a fuck if you don't think it was hip-hop enough or whatever. That album was beautiful. I love that album. I don't know why I forgot it. I don't know why it escaped my mind. But I was like listening to songs on YouTube on autoplay. And the song is just called I Think. I'm pretty sure. Or I Think I'm Falling in Love. And that song came on, and I was like, this is the album I couldn't fucking remember. And I don't know why I couldn't remember it. I was so mad at myself. That album was dope. Tyler's dope. A$AP Rocky's dope. Fucking, come on, dude. There's artists out there. You can look them up. You can look them up. Like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that bullshit in 2020 that there's no good hip-hop artists anymore. When y'all just not fucking wanted to discuss the ones that are out there that are doing the damn thing and doing real well. Any gaming things I think we should leave in the past? Loot boxes. Microtransactions. Mainly that gamer company shit. That's probably never going to go away because it prints money. Gacha games need to die. But they're not going to. But, gamer community, I don't know. There's toxicity in the gamer community, but I feel like that's the gamer community. Game gatekeeping. Like, gatekeeping is just an all-around thing that needs to go away, that won't go away. But I'm so sick of it. I know I've been talking about Sword and Shield all fucking year throughout the podcast. From the news, from the Dex cut, from this and that, from playing the game to overall opinions of the game. First off, I want to go by just saying, the last time I checked the eShop was like the other day. Pokemon Sword is still the number 5 best-selling game in the eShop, and then I think Shield was like number 6 or number 7. So, first of all, to all you niggas saying y'all was going to boycott it, it looks like you didn't really make a big dent. The game also sold fairly fucking well, according to sales numbers. And it has a pretty good... It still has like a good chunk of negative reviews, but I've seen a lot more positive. Like, people aren't saying it's fantastic, but people are like, it's a good game. Because it is. That's what it is. This is a good game. I want to go back. I want to backpedal on my scores. It's a 7.5 for me. It's a 7.5 for me. It's a very, like, average in the middle game. There's just qualities and things about the game that I really love. Like, I love the Galar region Pokemon. I love a lot of the characters. I also want to say that when I say I like the characters having, like, growth and, like, development, I'm not saying they have master-level development. This isn't a backtrack. This is me, like, clarifying what I mean. Like, for a Pokemon game, I don't know if I said it like this before or not. I can't recall. For a Pokemon game, this is definitely a step in the right direction in terms of character development. Like, it's not fucking this masterwork of, like, wow, these characters, their growth. It just felt really nice. It was a nice, warm, happy feeling of seeing these characters, like, go out, live their dreams, and succeed in whatever they needed to do. Some dude, I watch a channel called Hoops and Hip Hop, very underrated Pokemon channel. He does, Pokemon vids, like, just talking about shit. He does some top 10s, this and that. He also does, like, Pokemon remixes, like, of the music, so check those out, too. Great dude. Underrated channel. Please check him out. But he was talking about the things he liked and didn't like about Sword and Shield in a video, and I left a comment because there's been times where he's like liked my comment or replied to it here and there, so I'm just like, But I left a comment like, agreeing for the most part with what he was saying, but I was like, nah, because he didn't really like Score Bunny's final Evo. I think Cinderace looks great, this and that. I was just, voicing my opinion, and then like with the main plot, I think the main plot could have been stronger in Sword and Shield in terms of like the main overarching plot, but I feel like they lost a lot of that because they tried to focus more on the characters, which isn't a bad thing. It's a step in the right direction. It was nice to see character development, and it gave me a warm, happy feeling. Like I like it, and it makes me smile, and it's really cute. I'm not saying it's fucking this master stroke work of character development. I'm not saying that. Because Pokemon Sword and Shield, I mean, it's going to have to be in my top 10 games of the year, but that's because I haven't played a lot of games that came out in 2019. Either I didn't really have a strong interest in them, or I just never got the money to play them. But it's not like this overwhelmingly amazing game. I wouldn't call it Game of the Year. I wouldn't call it RPG of the Year or anything like that. It was just a fun game that came out. But anywho, dude commented on my like post talking about what character development. And then, like, he left this long-ass paragraph telling me why none of the characters developed. He was like, be lost, and then dog character, Marty, fucking hot, became a professor. Pokemon professors don't help Pokemon, they just study Pokemon. First off, you fucking artard. Wouldn't you have to understand Pokemon and study them to be able to help them in any sort of capacity? I said compacity. Capacity. So, wouldn't being a Pokemon professor arguably help Hop be able to better help Pokemon? Because he would understand them more? Where does it say in the Pokemon rulebook or guide to being a Pokemon professor that you can't help Pokemon? Like, what the fuck? Like, first of all, that was just stupid. Secondly, Bede wasn't just some dude that got cut from the gym challenge and then became a gym leader. Bede fucking was an orphan who Chairman Rose saw, Pokemon, and Chairman Rose saw potential in him, and Bede, like, confided in him and wanted to make him proud, and he was doing all this stuff to help Chairman Rose. So when Chairman Rose cut him from the gym challenge, he was hurt, and it fucking fucked with his character. So when he was forced into being a gym leader and then challenges you to that last battle, he's like, if I can't beat you here, this dude that's been, like, the only dude that's been beating me thus far, then I'm just going to quit gym battling I'm just going to quit Pokemon battling because there's no point anymore. Like, Chairman Rose doesn't want me anymore. I can't beat you. And he lost. But the people in the stands were like, nah, dude, that was awesome. Keep battling. And he finds a new reason to keep battling. And he becomes gym leader. Could that story have been narrated a little better? Had more stuff to fill it out? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. But to say that all that happened was he was some dude that got cut from the gym challenge and then became a gym leader, it's fucking stupid. Because that's not the only thing that happened. And I didn't reply to the comment. I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, dude, no. There's a little more info than that. Could there have been... I even said that. I was like, I feel like characters could have had more, like besides Hop. Even Hop could have had a little more, but Hop definitely had the most development. But I said those other characters had development, but I wish they would have had more. I said that during my review. But I was like, dude, I'm not about to get into an argument with you over some YouTube comments, so I'll just agree to disagree. And that was pretty much it. But I was just like, dude, what the fuck? Stop game gatekeeping. Because first of all, I'm like, name a game where they had character development. Or a Pokemon game where they had character development like that. Like, I feel like Sword and Shield's character development is just as good as Black and White's. Black and White's is probably a little better still. I probably would have to go back and play Black and White again. But still, that was the first game in a while where we had multiple characters with character development since Black and White. Blue is a fan favorite character. Blue has no fucking character development in first gen. Period. He doesn't have any development in Red and Blue or Yellow. He doesn't have any development in Fire Red or Leaf Green, yet he's a fan favorite because he's that asshole rival. That's fine. He doesn't need character development. He gets development in like other games where he makes those cameo appearances. He's more like mellowed out and chill than he was when you guys were traveling and being rivals against each other in the first gen games. But throughout that first gen game, Blue does not grow as a character at all. Not even a single time. He stays an asshole, and then you beat him, and he's embarrassed and he leaves. And that's it. Yet he's a fan character, but Hop is a bad character because he has shitty development. That makes no sense. Like, now you're just being fucking hypocrites to your nostalgia. Also, there's no such thing as a hard Pokemon game. I'll say that right now, too. Well, in terms of the main series games, like Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, all that shit. None of those games were ever hard. You were just a child. So they were more challenging because you were a child. You weren't as intelligent as you are now. I guarantee you if you go back to like Gold and Silver, you will, as like my age, as 25, you will slap the shit out of Wendy and her stupid fucking Miltank. They're not hard. There's never been a hard main series Pokemon game. There hasn't. There just hasn't. I will stand by that. Even as a kid, I don't remember having that tough of a time. The only time I would like struggle is if like my Pokemon are underleveled. And if I got them at least on par, maybe like a level or two higher than the opponent, I come back and crush it. So I just lacked understanding of like type combinations sometimes, and I lacked understanding that I needed to level up. That was it. Like, there's never... So like this idea that like, oh, this game is too easy or something like that. All the Pokemon games are easy. this game is short. I'm just like, it's because there's no wild encounters. It takes like a fourth of the game time out. You don't have to take 5 steps and get caught up in a battle. I brought that up before too. It's just, that's the main gatekeeping thing. I'm sure there's other ones, but we talked about Pokemon all fucking year, so I thought I'd bring it up again. Anyway, guys, I feel like I'm going to give myself a headache with all this stress, and it's also just about time to dip out. So, sorry for this disorganized mess of a rant. I guess I'll just name it episode 26, last rant of the year. That's that shit I don't like or some shit. I don't know. But we're pretty much done here. So next week will be the last podcast episode of the season, episode 27. That one will definitely be a more positive episode. Kicking back, shoot the shit. I'm just going to talk about, why my favorite things of the decade were my favorite things of the decade, what I'm really looking forward to in the year of 2020, and what I hope to do with Art Project. By the way, go ahead and go to the Facebook page for Art Project. Give it a like. That's how you'll keep in the loop with Another Random Tale, which is a comic book story I'm creating. You'll keep up to date with when podcast episodes are going up, what topics they're going to be on, and other shit as other shit becomes available. The podcast episodes also get uploaded to Facebook, too, if you don't want to go straight to Podbean. I would prefer if you went straight to Podbean, though, because it's nice to know, to see, people are listening. I see the play numbers. And maybe leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I don't mind if Facebook's more convenient for you either. We also get uploaded to YouTube. I post the YouTube links to the channel up to the Facebook page as well every now and then. So yeah, keep that in mind. So thanks, guys. Next week, last podcast of the year. Thanks for rocking with me. 26 episodes so far. Crazy, crazy shit. And yeah, keep all that shit I was talking about in 2020 or in 2019. Don't bring that shit into the new decade. But you probably will. But I actually kind of feel better after ranting. But anywho, have yourselves a good Friday. Have yourselves a good weekend. See you next week. Goodbye.
Hey, 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 hey.